Good morning. Welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist Church of Richmond. My name is Suzanne Short, and I am honored to be serving this community on its board of directors. Welcome to those here and those joining us virtually from near and far. We're grateful to be able to connect with you this morning. If you are a visitor here today, we are glad that you have found us. We welcome you and thank you for spending time with us. We are a community committed to being deliberately diverse, fully inclusive, and want you to know that whoever you are, you belong here. Our church was begun in 1833 as a liberal Christian community. We are now a community of many faith journeys and beliefs, guided not by a creed, but by a covenant, to uphold shared principles marked by love, respect, and justice. Our faith community continues to work together to put our UU principles and values into action and to build beloved community and serve the purpose of justice for all in the Richmond community. We welcome you to live these principles with us as you continue your spiritual journey and stand together with us on the side of love. If you are a visitor here today or new to Unitarian Universalism and would like to learn more about our faith and community, we invite you to check out our website, join our Facebook group, and reach out by email at membership@richmonduu.org. To stay informed about important news and many of the activities occurring within our community, I encourage church members and visitors to arrive or tune in to our Sunday morning services 5 to 10 minutes early to catch the rolling announcements. And remember to check out the various editions of First News Weekly. Again, welcome to this joyful Sunday, made sacred by all of us being together, worshiping, and sharing our time with each other. Now we invite you to greet your neighbor, and then please remain standing for our opening hymn, Be Now My Vision. Greet away.
Morning. Dave. Hi, I'm Dave. I'm Dave. Please remain standing. We're going to sing the opening hymn, which is called Be Thou My Vision. The lyrics are on the screen. Sovereign of heaven, my treasure.
Well, good morning. It's so good to see all these beautiful faces this morning on an overcast day, but you are bringing sunshine into the building. I am the Reverend Sherman Logan, and I'd like to welcome you to our worship service today. And again, it's so good to see you all. Now, I know you have many options on a Sunday morning, but we are excited, delighted, and blessed that you decided to spend some time with us today. So welcome as we gather in the presence of the sacred. We welcome you where we gather to experience the holy. We welcome you to this place of love and grace. We welcome you to this place of hope and perseverance. We invite all of you to be a part of the beloved community, a community where all are welcome and all are included. And we invite you to share with us the life-affirming, life-transforming, life-saving good news of our Unitarian Universalist faith. And we welcome you just as you are, from wherever you come from wherever you're watching us. Welcome those of you in the Great Hall, those who are watching virtually. And I heard through the grapevine that some folks are still waiting for invitations to come into the building. So here's your invitation. Come on back. We welcome you. We love you. Welcome, friends, and let us worship together.
Good morning. Our chalice lighting this morning is called The Light for Everyone Who Comes Into the World by Elizabeth Strong. Reverently, I offer this symbol of our hope and high intent. Reverently, I bequeath this flame to you. This is the light that is lit for everyone who comes into the world. Bear this light to others, one by one. Let the flame go from life to life till all is lit with its warmth. Tell that the light means wisdom. Tell that the light means kindness. Tell that the light means understanding. Tell that the light means tolerance. Tell that the light means sacrifice. Tell that the light is a vision of a fairer world. Tell that this is the light that is lit for everyone who comes into this world.
It's you I like. It's not the things you wear. It's not the way you do your hair, but it's you I like. The way you are right now, the way down deep inside you. Not the things that hide you, not your toys. They're just beside you, but it's you I like. Every part of you, your skin, your eyes, your feelings, whether old or new. I hope that you'll remember, even when you're feeling blue, that it's you I like. It's you yourself, it's you. It's you I like. I hope that you'll remember, even when you're feeling blue, that it's you I like, it's you yourself, it's you. It's you I like.
They didn't tell me I was going to have to follow that. And I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Margaret Rush. So our reading this morning is called Kindness by Naomi Shihab Nye. Before you know what kindness really is, you must lose things. Feel the future dissolve in a moment, like salt in a weakened broth. What you held in your hand, what you counted and carefully saved, all this must go so you know how desolate the landscape can be between the regions of kindness. How you ride and ride, thinking the bus will never stop. The passengers eating maize and chicken will stare out the window forever. Before you learn the tender gravity of kindness, you must travel where the Indian in a white poncho lies dead by the side of the road. You must see how this could be you, how he too was someone who journeyed through the night with plans and the simple breath that kept him alive. Before you know kindness as the deepest thing inside, you must know sorrow as the other deepest thing. You must wake up with sorrow. You must speak to it till your voice catches the thread of all sorrow and you see the size of the cloth. Then it is only kindness that makes sense anymore. Only kindness that ties your shoes and sends you out into the day to gaze at bread. Only kindness that raises its head from the crowd of the world to say, "It is I you've been looking for," and then goes with you everywhere, like a shadow or a friend.
Let's now prepare for a moment of meditation. Sit comfortably in your seats. Plant both feet on the ground. Close your eyes, if you will. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. And reflect on the words by Richard S. Gilbert, Gentleness in Living. Be gentle with another. It is a cry from the lives of people battered by thoughtless words and brutal deeds. It comes from the lips of those who speak them and the lives of those who do them. Who of us can look inside another and know what is there of hope and hurt, or promise and pain? Who can know from what far places each has come, or to what far places each may hope to go? Our lives are like fragile eggs. They crack and the substance escape. Handle with care. Handle with exceedingly tender care, for there are human beings within, human beings as vulnerable as we are, who feel as we feel, who hurt as we hurt. Life is too transient to be cruel with one another. It is too short for thoughtlessness, too brief for hurting. Life is long enough for caring. It is lasting enough for sharing, precious enough for love. Be gentle with one another. spirit of life and love, great mysteries beyond naming, we come together to this sacred place at this sacred time, thankful for a chance to be together for a time of prayer, surrounded by a community that cares. Help us to daily plant seeds of love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, generosity, faithfulness, and gentleness in our lives. This morning, we bring to you all that troubles us, our sorrows and cares, our anxieties and conflicts, and our whole heart and life better known to you than ourselves. We pray that you take us as we are, strengthen us when we are weak, help us be responsible with the bounties of your blessings. Spirit of life, let your loving kindness shine upon us all and whom we love. Shine upon those who are suffering, upon those who are sick, and upon those who have experienced grief and loss. And in a world where there's so much injustice, we ask that justice roll down upon our nation government and among the nation of power across the world. May we learn to do justice, to love kindness, and to transverse humbly. Let your peace become the primarily among leaders of the world. Now give us wisdom and insight that we become instrument of your love and peace. Give us all a clear and courageous witness so we may stand firm in our faith and not to cower in the place of adversity. O Holy One, on this beautiful morning, open our hearts and our understanding so that we can respond to our siblings in our city and around the world who are hungry, homeless, and who are lonely. So create in us a true spirit of humility and grace. Give to us and all who worship this day what we need to become all we have been created to be. So we come to you today just as we are, aware of our shortcomings, and yet expectant that with your strength, wisdom, and grace, we have the power to become more than what we are today. Help us combine our understanding of your love and presence into a consistent, life-affirming faith. May our lives be clad with your internal purposes and inspired by uncompromising and unconditional love. This we pray in the name of all that we know to be good and true and beautiful, all that is holy. May this be so. Amen. Ashe. Blessed be.
Our share of the plate this month is DRUM, which stands for Diverse and Revolutionary UU Multicultural Ministries. People of color are inspired by the liberating messages of Unitarian Universalism. However, congregational life often does not reflect diverse worldviews or cultural practices. Often some of our congregations are not committed to the justice struggles of communities of color, and this can leave people of color feeling invisible and isolated. DRUM, a Unitarian Universalist people of color ministry and anti-racist collective, was created to unite lay and religious professionals to overcome racism through resistance and transform Unitarian Universalism through their multicultural experiences. As an all-volunteer ministry, DRUM continues to lead efforts towards becoming an anti-racist, anti-oppressive, multicultural UUA, creating space for youth, young adults, and our families of color to heal and work collectively. Allies are welcome, and DRUM is open to all people grounded in the Unitarian Universalist tradition and values. Your contributions go to support DRUM's ministry that positively transforming the lives of BIPOC UUs and helping build beloved communities. Funds go towards our community building, cultivating faith formation, and engaging in institutional change work. So would you please consider giving generously to support DRUM? An offering will be taken and gratefully received. Thank you. If you are interested in donating by cash or check, our ushers have envelopes to put money in and baskets to collect your donations. Thank you. If you just raise your hand, they'll come around.
Our reading this morning comes from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 10, verses 25 to 37. Just then, a religious scholar stood up with a question to test Jesus. "Teacher, what do I need to get eternal life?" He answered, "What is written in God's law? How do you interpret it?" He said that you love the Lord with your God with all your passion and prayer and muscle and intelligence, and that you love your neighbor as well as you love yourself. "Good answer," said Jesus. "Do it and you will live." Looking for a loophole, he asked, "And just how would you define neighbor?" Jesus answered by telling a story. There once was a man traveling from Jerusalem to Jericho. On the way, he was attacked by robbers. They took his clothes, beat him up, and went off, leaving him half dead. Luckily, a priest was on his way down the same road, and when he saw him, he angled across to the other side. Then a Levite, a religious man, showed up. He also avoided the injured man. A Samaritan traveling the road came on him, and when he saw the man's condition, his heart went out to him. He gave him first aid, disinfecting and bandaging his wound. Then he lifted him up onto a donkey, led him to an inn, and made him comfortable. In the morning, he took out 2 silver coins and gave them to the innkeeper, saying, "Take good care of him. If it costs any more, put it on my bill. I'll pay you back on my way back." What do you think? Which of these 3 became a neighbor to a man attacked by the robber? The one who treated him kindly, the religion scholar responded. Jesus said, "Go and do the same." As I was preparing for this morning's sermon, the Spirit laid on my heart to share with you the story from the Gospel of Luke. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the parable, the Good Samaritan. And so in the parable, we find a man traveling from Jerusalem to Jericho. And while he was on the way, he was robbed of everything he had, including his clothing, and was beaten within a fraction of his life. Now, just by chance, a priest who was going down the road saw the injured traveler beaten and blooded and lying by the road. Now, you might think that this high holy man, this man of God, would have shown love and compassion for the traveler and stopped to help the brother, but he did not. The priest just kept on stepping. So the next person who came along was a Levite. The Levites were religious sex leaders of that era who had also known God's law of love and compassion and offered a hand to assist the traveler. But just as the priest, the Levi just walked on by. So now here comes a character who had been least likely to stop to help the man lying beside the road, the Samaritan. Now, according to tradition, the Samaritans were outsiders to the Jewish community of that time, and Jews and Samaritans despise each other. Now, there weren't any references in the story that the Samaritan knew that the injured traveler was a Jew or Gentile, but based on Jesus' audience at the time and the geographical setting of the story, is implied that the falling traveler was Jewish. So the chances of the Samaritan helping a Jewish person was probably slim to none. But we aren't told in the parable that the Samaritan considered a man's race or religion before deciding to help the falling travelers. I don't think it made any difference to the Samaritan, and I believe that the Good Samaritan saw only a person in dire need of assistance and assisted him when he did and went beyond the call of duty. So he dressed the man's wound with wine to disinfect and oil to soothe the pain. He put the man on a donkey and took him to the inn for a time for healing. And the Samaritan paid the innkeeper with his own money. The Samaritan then goes beyond the common decency and tells the innkeeper to take good care of the man, and he would pay the extra expenses occurred on his return trip. The Samaritan provided a random act of kindness to a stranger in need. He didn't care what country the stranger comes from. He didn't care what color the stranger was. He didn't care about the stranger religious beliefs. He just saw a stranger as a neighbor in need. Now, what if we were ever in a very difficult, fearful, perhaps desperate situation like the injured traveler in the story of the Good Samaritan? And someone suddenly comes along and shows us real kindness, significantly helps us out, and perhaps saving us from something dreadful. Well, I hope that we're always to remember the act of kindness of that Samaritan that we may meet along the road and be deeply grateful. Now, what do you do when you see people in need? Do you notice people when people could use a helping hand? Or do you turn a blind eye and walk on by just like the priest and the Levite did in the parable? Do we open our eyes to see the needs of those who are around us who are suffering, who just need a kind word, a smile, a door open, or help carrying a heavy load? Or we don't help them because they don't look like us, don't talk like us, or share our political or religious beliefs? You know, over time, when we perform acts of kindness, it would mean much more to us and have much more impact on our lives than any displays of unbridled selfness that we see played out in our country and our communities every day. My friends, the parable of the Good Samaritan is an example of the power of kindness. Now, we live in a time where, unfortunately, kindness is at a premium, and in this story, we see the example of how we to show compassion, kindness, and love for those who are in need that we may encounter in our everyday activities. Now, I know that's easier said than done, especially in the divided society that we live in today. But the story of the Good Samaritan teaches us about the power of kindness, where we are to set aside our differences, our prejudices, to show love and compassion for others. Now, you know, kindness is not a word that we usually associate with power. We tend to associate the word power with the hard realities of weapons, forced aggression, privileged positions, wealth, and advantageous political connection. And we tend to associate the word kindness with love, empathy, humility, self-sacrifice, those soft realities that may seem nice or pleasant and even comforting at times. So kindness is generally defined as a quality of being friendly, generous, and considerate. Affection, gentle, warm, and concerns are also words that are associated with kindness. And while kindness for some may have a connotation of someone being weak or naive, well, I don't believe that's the case, because being kind often requires courage and strength. Kindness is not niceness. It is instead a powerful and subversive thing that anyone can perform, even if they cannot bring themselves to feel compassion, mercy, or love. Kindness is about telling truth in a gentle way when doing so is helpful to the other person. but you must be willing to speak truth to power and hold ourselves and others accountable. Kindness also includes being kind to yourself. Do you treat yourself kindly? Do you speak gently and kindly to yourself and take good care of yourself? So there are many ways to be kind and many opportunities to practice kindness. And perhaps kindness is a value that can add more satisfaction to strengthen our relationships. And if we carry out a few altruistic acts, it is then we can discover for ourselves the power and benefit of kindness. Now, friends, I believe that the power of kindness is truly powerful and contagious, and one act can have a ripple effect that spreads towards others. And in our moment of needs, or when we extend a helping hand to another, the altruistic power of kindness, the benefit of kindness, the love and compassion that we share with our siblings in the beloved community is spread far and wide, and it's a win-win situation for all of us. Now, what makes kindness so powerful is that it doesn't pamper and it's not random. It is radical, it's brave, it's daring and courageous, and at times risky and dangerous. Kindness has more power to change lives of people than we can imagine. Kindness can reconcile relationships that have long thought to be irreparable. Kindness can empower world leaders to break stalemates, and kindness can heal divisions among members of our community. Now, can I tell y'all something this morning? You ready to hear something this morning? All right. Well, I don't know about you all, but I know there are some folks out in the beloved community that attempt to practice what I call a form of fake kindness. We know those people who regularly give out platitudes, who regularly give out insincere compliments, who give gifts or apparent gestures, but we all know it's done for manipulation and perhaps destructive purposes. Now, you know those folks I'm talking about. They may be on your job, they may live in your neighborhood, they may be family members. And y'all know who I'm talking about. Those people who are just faking kindness. But you know, I'm not talking about anybody in this room this morning. Am I? But we all know those folks who will compliment you on how well you look in this suit, you look good in your outfit, tell you to your face that they like your new hairdo, or tell you that you're doing a good job at work, only behind your back to tell their friends that you look like crap and you suck at your job. So with friends like those, who need enemies? But again, I'm not talking about anybody in this room this morning. I hope not. But you know, it's easy to become cynical because I have encountered many forms of fake kindness in my life. However, it doesn't mean that there's no such thing as authentic kindness. And I've been blessed to have encountered many authentically kind folks in my lifetime. You see, authentic kindness is when we act out of love, justice, and truthfulness and respect, and the goodness that we show towards our siblings and the community. Authentic kindness is fundamental to our existence, and during our time on this planet and after we leave this earth, our kindness, the way we treated others, are rightly remembered and often celebrated. And over time, kindness has more impact on reflective thinking and personal behavior than all the nasty stuff, the fakeness, the insincerity, and destructive people that can dread up out of their darkness. But my friends, I've come by today to give you some good news. The good news is despite the many examples of fake kindness that we see in our society every day, there are some people who perform radical, courageous, life-altering acts of kindness. And they are the folks that practice authentic kindness, like the folks who helped Naomi Shihab Nye in her time of need. The author of the poem Kindness that Margaret read earlier, Naomi Shihab Nye, recounted on how her world-renowned poem came to her as a kind of a voice that she heard from deep within herself. You see, on her honeymoon in Colombia, the bus in which she was traveling was attacked. Nye and her husband's luggage was stolen and one of her fellow passengers, an indigenous man, was murdered and left on the side of the road. Sounds something like the story of the Good Samaritan. So as her husband traveled to the next town to get new travel documents, she sat in the town square, stranded alone in a remote village, watching people as they passed by. With only the clothes on her back and just knowing rudimentary Spanish, she was adopted by a street gang who protected her and fed her bread rolls for days until she was reunited with her husband. This random act of kindness inspired Nye to write the poem Kindness. So friends, that is what the power of kindness is all about in the world in which we live, and is rarely saved by any grand messianic gestures, but by a simple accumulation of gentle, almost individual acts of compassion and kindness. And you know, simple acts of kindness can have a positive long-term effect on our lives. We have the power to help foster hope and harmony for our collective humanity. The power of kindness can inspire faith, not just in a particular moment, but a faith that will endure for a lifetime. His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, said, "My religion is very simple. My religion is kindness." And as Unitarian Universalists, let us practice loving kindness by dedicating our lives to the quality of friendliness and care as we directly serve peace on earth. Let us practice loving kindness as we continue to work for social justice and healing the environment. Imagine what the beloved community could be if we all committed ourselves to a cultivating kind heart. If we just decided to dedicate our lives to kindness, to the quality and friendliness and care we will directly serve to others. Philanthropist Holly Branson tells us, just imagine how different the world would be if we all spoke to everyone with respect and kindness. Imagine if we had more kindness, we would not be facing the myriad of challenges that haunt our community today. So imagine in this world of social media, we can only make a choice to post only words and videos of kindness. Imagine how much kinder our world would be if we eliminate so many unkind words, threats, bullying, and unkind deeds. Imagine if we had more kindness, our politics would be less toxic, less divisive, and more civil. So friends, there are opportunities to practice kindness all around us. And it's up to each of us to seize those opportunities and put a little bit more kindness into the world. Kindness and love is what will save our world. And in the Christian scriptures, there are many examples where Jesus tells us to love each other. And kindness is the best expression of love. And all religion tradition teach us to love our neighbors and to be kind to each other. It doesn't matter what religion or spiritual path you follow, or you may not follow any. You still can practice kindness. And through kindness, we can achieve a positive legacy that could never be achieved through force or intimidation. Now, most will remember our kindness and treasure it in their hearts if they experience enough authentic kindness from us and from others. And eventually, we can learn to be kind to ourselves and each other. And friends, when we are kind to each other, what a powerful spiritual message of love and compassion and hope that we'll be putting out to the universe. And so if we want to change the world, if we want to attempt to solve the world problems, we must learn to appreciate and extend the power of kindness to each and every one we meet. Now, it is easy. It is that easy, but it may not be simple. The problems of the world will not be changed overnight. But being kind is still easy. Being kind to each other is easy. So friends, be kind to ourselves and be kind to each other. May this be so. Amen.
This is called Carry the Flame by Brian Keeley. The chalice is now extinguished, but its light lives on in the minds and hearts and souls of each one of you. Carry that flame with you as you leave this place and share it with those you know, with those you love, and most especially with those you have yet to meet.
Before I give the benediction, I want to thank Margaret for filling in today as our worship associate. Unfortunately, Reverend Amy is a little bit under the weather, so she couldn't be with us today. So I had to call Margaret yesterday on the last minute, and thankfully she bailed me out. Jamie, Zoe, thank you so much. Miss Rogers. And to Catherine and Jim in the sound booth, and our wonderful music and worship director, Dave, thank you so much. And thank all of you for sharing this time with us today. So please rise as I give the benediction in body or spirit. As we end our time together, no matter how frightening the world has become, no matter how frightening individual circumstance of your life may be today or may be tomorrow, be not afraid, because the warmth of this community, our support for each other, and the memory of the chalice flame shall sustain our hearts and encourage our minds as we engage the blessings of life and challenges of joy. May the quality of our lives be our benediction and a blessing to all whom we touch. Friends, go now in peace, go now in joy, go now in love. And friends, be kind to each other. May this be so. Amen. Ashe. Blessed be. And let us sing our closing hymn, How Could Anyone?